On this episode of Eat, Sleep, Drive, we fix my broken Ford. What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Eat, Sleep, Drive. Now, if I were to tell you that I have a 12-year-old Porsche, a 23-year-old Nissan, and a four-year-old Ford, and I said one of them was broken, you would probably guess the Porsche or the Nissan, which is much older, but no, it's my pretty new Ford Fiesta ST. And what you heard in that intro there was the blend door clicking in this car. Just one day, it just randomly decided that when it started, it was going to start making that clicking noise. And to me, it sounded like some sort of gear was stuck or something. And sure enough, I did a short search on the internet and found out that this is a common problem with pretty much all new Fords, and certainly my Fiesta ST is susceptible. And basically there is a motor which moves the blend door. The blend door is used for the HVAC to kind of regulate heat. And that is basically stripped, or something is wrong with that thing. So it makes a super annoying clicking noise every time I start the car. Even when I don't have the any of the heating controls on, it just cycles through. And I really want to get it fixed because it's driving me insane. So I ordered the part online. I'll put the link in the description. It's pretty cheap. You can find them all over the place because this is obviously a common problem. And I've seen a couple different ways that this has been replaced. So I wanted to kind of document my process today. I've been kind of dreading it because the sound definitely sounds like deep in the dash, and I'm a little bit worried that I might have to take apart more of the dash than I thought. But basically, I've seen a couple of techniques. Now, I've seen one technique where under here, under the steering wheel, and let me get you guys pointed down here so you can see what I'm talking about. One of the techniques is to remove this airbag under the steering wheel and take away some of these plastic pieces, which gives you access. And I've seen people remove the seat so they can easily lay here and get under the dash. That seems pretty terrible. But I did see one guy who claimed that you can remove just this piece, which is behind the steering wheel, and then sneak your fingers in there and have access to the blend door. Now, that sounds way better to me because that involves taking apart way less stuff, which is for the most part, obviously ideal. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to basically document this process, show you guys what I've had to do to get this replaced, and hopefully it helps you if you have a Ford and that is making this clicking noise. So let's dive in. So the first thing that I'm going to do is remove these two T25 Torx fasteners. Now, I say two, obviously you can only see one here. They're on both sides of the steering wheel. So basically you gotta turn the car on, or at least, put it in the on position. Thank you, dash, for clicking repeatedly. And now you can see the one on this side. So you basically just gotta remove one. Shut up. You gotta remove one, rotate the steering wheel, remove the other one. With those two fasteners removed, you have to go under the steering column to right here and remove the third fastener. With those three fasteners removed, now what we need to do is separate this steering column, this plastic piece. So I'm just going to kind of pry on it with my hands on both sides, and hopefully it should kind of come out. So there's that. Top piece off. Let's see if we can get this bottom piece off. There we go. Voila. Now we have access to the steering column. Now, for me to show you how to take this out, I wanted to first show the part that we're replacing so you know what to look for, because it's very hard to videotape this. But this is the blend door motor. Obviously you have a harness clip here. You'll have two fasteners on opposite corners, and then this looks like an alignment post to me. I don't see a fastener in this thing, but this is what it looks like. I wanted to show you guys before I show you where it is in the dash. So once you have your steering column already taken out, like I've talked to you guys about, you have to, at least what I'm doing is adjusting the steering column all the way up to give me a little more access. Obviously, you pull this down, push the steering column up. And then I'm gonna have you guys dive in here. And you see that guy up there? That is the blend door motor, and that's where it's located. So it's real difficult to get back there, but it is possible, and it gives you access by just removing this column, this plastic column under your steering column. So basically what I'm gonna do here is, this is what I've contrived. They are T20 fasteners. And what I did here was put a T20 fastener on the appropriate socket. So pretend that this is a T20 Torx bit, which is what I have on here. And all I've done is I put it on the appropriate, this is like a 1/4 inch drive. I put it on a socket, and then the reason I taped it is because, you know, just the Torx bit on the socket is gonna be a little loose. And if it falls in there, it's basically game over. So I just, you know, proactively just tape this, hoping that it's gonna hold that Torx bit on. This is gonna be real hard to get back there, but basically you just gotta remove those 2 fasteners back there and the harness, and then you can take the blend door motor out. Like I said, it's gonna be real hard to show this, but basically I got my ratchet back there. It definitely helps to have a fine tooth ratchet because you can't get a lot of turns back there. But you can hear me ratcheting it away. And it just takes a while. It's real fiddly. Got to get that fastener out. I'm working on the bottom one, and then I'm gonna try and do the top one. So once I basically got this fastener broken loose with the ratchet, I just took the socket off, put my hand in there, and was able to undo it by hand, not without too much trouble. Now that's the bottom one. The top one is kind of hard to see. Let's see if I can point it out for you guys. Do you see it up there right above my middle finger? Basically, I'm gonna have to go up and under this harness, and then with the ratchet, and then undo this fastener. I have what I think is the blend door loose. At least I removed those 2 fasteners. I'm gonna try and pull it out now. And yep, it's coming out. Let's see if you can see that in there. See, I just pulled them off. Now he's still attached to that harness, so I'm gonna have to unplug that harness, and then I'll be able to pull that thing out. All right, so I got the old one out. Basically, that harness clip, you just have to push down right here on the harness. There's a little tab. Just push it down, and then you can pull that out. So obviously now it's just reverse. I think probably putting this thing in is probably gonna be a little more difficult than taking it out, but just reverse, plug this in, jam it back up in there, and then put those 2 fasteners in. I was able to get the blend door in, and this tool came in super handy. Once again, T20 Torx bit. I just put it on a 1/4 inch socket and fine tooth ratchet, and it worked out pretty good. I was able to do it mostly by hand, and I just snugged it up with this really. But before I put all this crap back together, let's, fingers crossed, start the car and see if we have our clicking. It did it every time I started the car before, so. No clicking. Yes. I think we actually fixed it, guys. Let me turn on the AC here. Well, how about that? It actually worked. Huge thanks to the dude on YouTube. I'll put his name below because I can't remember his name, but he was the one that basically got me thinking about just removing this little piece. So it was way easier than I've seen most people have to remove this airbag under there, and it just takes longer. It took me about 45 minutes, start to finish, to do this with me filming, me having no idea how to do it, and just kind of figuring out along the way. If I had to do it again, I could probably do it in 15 minutes. But I really hope this video helps you guys. If you have a Fiesta, I imagine it's probably very similar on other cars, other Ford cars like the Focus, but I'm not exactly sure. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, if you guys have a Fiesta and you have this problem, this should help you out. Check out that link in the description for the part itself. And I'm gonna go drive this car around without any clicking. I appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you next time.